This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Shea.
We turn now from Gaza to the occupied West Bank, where Israel has launched its largest military operation in over 2 decades, raiding 4 cities and refugee camps in the north simultaneously, with hundreds of soldiers backed by armoured vehicles, bulldozers, fighter jets and drones. At least 18 Palestinians have been killed and 30 wounded. On Wednesday, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called on Israel to immediately end its military operation and strongly condemned the loss of lives, including that of children. Meanwhile, 3 leading Palestinian human rights groups issued a joint statement warning, quote, of even more escalated violence in the West Bank, with the employment of tactics that mirror those used in Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza, particularly attacks on hospitals and healthcare facilities, and the use of excessive and indiscriminate force.
In Jenin, Israeli forces have surrounded the city, blocking exit and entry points and access to hospitals and ripping up infrastructure in the Jenin refugee camp. Jenin's been the target of frequent raids by Israeli forces, but this latest military operation is the largest since the Second Intifada 2 decades ago, when Jenin witnessed some of the worst violence of that period after Israeli forces invaded it in 2002, laid siege to the refugee camp, killing dozens of civilians, destroying hundreds of homes, leaving a quarter of the population homeless. We go now to Jenin, where we're joined by Ahmed Tobasi, artistic director at the Freedom Theater in the Jenin refugee camp. Welcome to Democracy Now! Ahmed, describe the scene in Jenin right now.
Thank you, Amy, for having me. I mean, the scene, it's the same again and again, but as I said before, the Israelis keeping surprising us, even the way they do the invasions. To be honest, I am calling my sisters around, some friends, and they are very scared. We, all of us, very scared. We know there is something different in this invasion. The way they start the invasion, the way they doing it now, it's really scary. People don't know what's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be a bit more longer invasion than others. We are surprised of the number of the soldiers, the vehicles that keep coming to the city. The camp now having sometime electricity, sometime not. For sure, the internet is not there. We try to use the 3Gs and not totally always good. But yeah, it's a fear atmosphere where everybody is waiting. And you know, the scenes from Gaza, what happened to Gaza, the people in the camp are really afraid that's gonna happen to them, because it's obvious the Israelis punishing the people, punishing the civilians. In the camp, all camp is surrounded with the army, all the entrances are closed. They already bulldozed all the streets, all the alleyways in the camp, and even the bulldozing is really deep. That means no cars, no ambulances can go inside. Many people try to evacuate the camp, but for sure it's very dangerous, because if you are a man above 15 or 14, you could be shot if you are moving or trying to sticking out from the camp. Only maybe a kids or some women, if they are courage enough to leave, to know what's going on outside the house, to leave the camp, but no one is to move. People are afraid of having no food now for 1 week, because, you know, they didn't prepare themselves for the invasion. They don't know which kind of the invasion is this. And, you know, the Israelis do not announce what they're going to do exactly. So many people are really afraid for the kids, they're having no food. So, yes, you hear the drones very close, the vehicles all around, the bombing by time to time. It's again the scene repeating itself again and again. And we don't know, like, what is the end, how long, what we should do. And is obviously the Israelis want to tell the communities, the civilians of these areas, you have only 2 choices. You die here, or you leave or displaced to other country. And that's what is we still waiting what's going to happen in the next days.
So, Ahmed, if you could put this latest military operation in the context of the ongoing assault on Gaza on the one hand, and also the situation that's been developing in the West Bank, both with the increasing violence over the last 10 months since the Israeli assault on Gaza, as well as the exponential increase in the number of Israeli settlements there.
Yes, I mean, also at the same time, I hope American language and American, let's say, journalism start using the definition in a right way. It is not violence. It's a genocide from the Israeli army against the Palestinian people. It's not a conflict. It's a genocide, a war, ethnic cleansing from the Israeli military to the Palestinian civilians. And yes, it's to be honest, from 100,000 of settlers to 850,000 in West Bank. West Bank is not anymore a West Bank. It's a little fragment from Palestinian communities living there, and all the connection, all the network, the streets, all controlled by the settlers. I promise you, I experienced a death threat. One time I was trying to go back from Ramallah to Jenin. It's not even late. It's the evening. And suddenly we find ourselves surrounded by settlers who really clearly want to kill you. And we, the last second, we just ran with the car. And if we just stopped, they are ready to kill you. They are attacking everywhere. They are putting fire in the houses of the people. They're shooting. Now they have guns, officially permitted guns from the Israeli government being given to the settlers to shoot Palestinians in very easy, cold blood. So we're not facing only army. We're facing a crazy settlers, groups of crazy people who just want to kill more and more. And the idea is clear. They want to empty West Bank from Palestinians. Guys, what is happening in Gaza, what is happening in West Bank, we say it again and again. This was planned from 80 years, and the Israelis have the time to work on it slowly to displace Palestinians in Palestine. They want Palestine empty from Palestinians, and that's the only plan. And they will not relax. They will not stop until this happened, or inshallah, it will be victory for Palestinians and they will get defeated.
Ahmed Tobasi, there have been more than 10,000 Palestinians on the West Bank arrested since October 7th. We have brought out reports from CNN to Human Rights Watch to Haaretz to Adamir of prisoners who haven't been charged, being sexually abused, being tortured. I'm wondering if you can talk about the effect of this level of imprisonment, and particularly this past December, the Israeli forces raided the offices of your theater, of the Jenin Freedom Theater. Producer Mustafa Shetta was detained and sentenced to 6 months. Have you heard from him? Has he seen a lawyer? Has he been accused?
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about, Amy. I had an interview with your program in December, last December, and it's the same and even more crazy. Mustafa still in prison, no information, not allowed even for lawyers to visit or have any information. As we said before, even kids in the Freedom Theater being shot where they were playing. So for me, it's like, is really American people, American governments know what is going on? Are they really following? We have been saying this years and years, again and again. Tons of report, United Nations, tons of report. And what is next? We still, I mean, that's why Israelis going on there. That's why they're getting, and I'm sure the Israelis could not do this if they do not have the green light from the U.S. government. I am saying from your window, from your program, I'm calling to the American people, to the American artists, to the American activists, to the American people. Please, you are the one who have to move now and stop this craziness. You have to stop supporting, sending bombs to Israel. Enough military support. This military support goes for killing artists, children, destroying theaters, killing people, killing women. They do nothing more than this. And the peace that Israel looking for is not to have a peace in Palestine, is to control all the world, is to occupy the whole Middle East and use it for the political situation that U.S. try to fight China and Iran and Russia in Palestine. We need to do something. It's not only Palestinian left alone to deal with the Israeli occupation that is defending West and Europe. U.S., it's really in a very difficult situation. If the U.S. do not follow the time and do something before this will be out of time, I think American people have to explain to the next generation. American people have to explain to the new generation in America what they did to the Palestinians, what they did to save and to finish this genocide and war. Guys, you will have a big responsibility in the future to define what happened to the Palestinians from the American support to the Israeli military terrorism people.
Ahmed Tobasi, we want to thank you for being with us, Artistic Director at the Freedom Theater in Jenin refugee camp, speaking to us from Jenin.